shoe, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the man with king? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Now, today we have Xbox not wanting to make $1,000 consoles. Xbox, you can get with this, so you can get with that. You can get with this, so you can get with that. You can get with this, so you can get with that. I think you get with this, because this is where it's at. That is genius within itself. Who knew growing up, me listening to Black Sheep and Dre, that this would be relevant in 2024. Seriously, they're running the bag up. That's what's up. Shout out to hip hop. Shout out to when hip hop was hip hop. You know, none of that stupid, anyway. But yeah, and also we have to address a lot of betas, man. A lot of betas, man. I don't like to use that word, but it is so apropos for who you are. I don't identify with anything that you individuals are, do, or conceive in your tiny little Neanderthal brains. Actually, Neanderthals had big ass heads, pause, with little brains, right? Very underdeveloped Cro-Magnon man situation going on with you dudes. But we're going to get into that. Today, if you rock with Xbox, and anything you saw today made you step out of yourself, boy, you better get a grip and do your 120. Get into the knowledge of self. Sit down. Do knowledge of self. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you how to meditate. These kids, these guys, these beta men, maybe I guess lack for a better word, right? That you might like to call them. They're a different breed of individual. Easily shaken, easily stirred, easily moved off a position. And always wanted to be part of a group that thinks the same. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's a lack of testosterone that they were around growing up. Maybe it was a lack of leadership or strong men in their life, and they had to lean upon strong women. Which is problematic within itself. But when it comes to this hobby, I see it's more problematic in the sense that the majority of the young men, if you want to call them that, are the ones that interact the most on Twitter. It's never the female gamer. They understand what gaming is. But you say this topic here, right? You say Xbox CEO says it will definitely be future consoles. Although the company new ad emphasized cloud streaming, CEO Phil Spencer tells Rolling Stones that there will be a box to buy at all times. The wildest thing is, you do know that the Azure cloud is owned by Microsoft and Xboxes are inside the server blades, and it's heavily used when it comes to Xbox cloud gaming. Actually, it's the crux of the whole thing. Now, before the ABK deal was done, i.e. the reason to hold the line, and I just don't know how dense people are. I mean, I'm dealing with a ton of low IQ people, so please forgive me if my tone is a little bit more demonstrative as normal. It's because I am baffled at the fact that these, I can't even use the word young men, at the moment are feeling abandoned, if you will, in a sense that they don't have an Xbox in front of them right now and they stuff do work. I'm confused at their confusion. You understand? It's like trying to figure out an idiot's thought process, and it's very hard being an intelligent person. You can't think like an idiot, but you can see the idiot thinking because their brain makes a sound. Like when they're talking, like you hear it, it's an audible sound. It's like, it's weird. And you realize that this individual has a couple of pieces missing from the puzzle. But listen, it appears that Xbox is no longer just a box. Earlier today, the company accounts ran a new 30-second ad spot showcasing the brand's brand new messaging, "This is an Xbox." Now, for years, Xbox has been developing, formulating, and progressively moving into the space that everything with a screen is an Xbox. Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, study the science behind that and why I said before you say something infantile, lowbrow, and ignorant. Has touted that a mantra for years, literally for years. So when we're boots on the ground explaining to people how the cloud works, when we have a hands-on demonstration of the cloud and the ability to turn your phone into a gaming device and your tablet and whatever, this fundamentally changes the concept and the construct in how we game. Normally, you purchase a box, it's an isolated, singular experience tethered to the television. The tether has broken. It's no longer this issue of you must be here, right? The sound of the Black Sheep's 1991 hip-hop track, "The Choice Is Yours," in the video begins with the Series X console. See, it starts with the console. See, the concept behind the whole ad point is the console has initiated this change. And then from this initiation of change, it has transcended the actual box. And I'm going to get into the reasons why it transcends the actual box. And then the bold green text reads, "This is an Xbox," and then pivots to a smart TV, a cell phone, a handheld PC, a laptop, all of which now are considered an Xbox. It should have pivoted to a Switch and a PlayStation, because the moment you boot up an Xbox game, this is an Xbox. Do you get it now? Do you understand now? On the surface, the campaign makes total sense. xCloud Gaming launched in 2019. The Xbox games have been available on PC for even longer. If players have an Xbox account, they can stream their purchased games or the Xbox Game Pass library on a variety of devices, anywhere they have high-speed internet connections. Check it out. Now, I'm going to mute that, but this is the commercial, right? And what we see here in this commercial is everything is an Xbox. Now, what has gotten these young individuals, for lack of a better word, into such a tizzy is the fact that Xbox is everywhere. So why are people concerned about the messaging? On social media, many fans have expressed the displeasure of the idea that Xbox has somehow abandoned the home console market. You start off with an Xbox, but yet you feel abandoned. It's true that this generation of hardware, which is led by the Series X, has less powerful Series S. Hasn't been a huge success for Microsoft, with reports in May indicating that Sony PlayStation has been outselling consoles nearly 5-1. So, if you and I are engaged in sales and you sell more than I do, now, normally, what a lot of you betas will do is go home and cry and whine to mommy. And a lot of alphas would do is say, how can I flip this? How can I change this? I'm not selling in New York. So what I have to do? I have to go out of town. I have to go pitch over in Philly. I have to go to Baltimore. I have to make my way down south to North Carolina, South Carolina. I have to establish pipelines all over the place. So what they did was acquired pipelines. And they pitched all over and they got their weight up. Now, normally you would have thought that Xbox won't be shopping where you shop because you're the big dog. But what Xbox actually did is they thought out of the normal construct and became the plug. They in turn turned you into a cussy. I gave you street terminology because I'm tired of street individuals not applying street principles and street economics to this dynamic. This is essentially that. This is essentially hustle hard. Become the plug. Go find out who the distro is and take that spot. That's exactly what Xbox did. Now you have the PlayStation fan base cheering when they're able to consume any Xbox product, when they were rooting for the downfall of Xbox. I want you to think this, you low vibrational, low IQ individual. Once Xbox has established a pipeline for distro outside of all the perimeter and then funnels that supply straight to the area in which they weren't selling. See, they understood that they could no longer pitch weight. PlayStation was pitching weight. So they switched it and sold individuals all over. You see, they weren't going to get the vehicle sold, but they can engineer all the seats, make sure everybody is taken care of. Do you understand? Selling hardware was a losing proposition in itself. It wasn't making as much money, but selling the software, now that was the real money is. See, because traditionally, you want to sell hardware in order to pitch your software. That's just how it goes. But Microsoft thought outside of the box. Well, dudes ain't buying our hardware, but they love that software. And they like that guy's hardware. So let's give them some software. The thought changes when you start to expand your mind. This is street economics. Many have declared that the console wars are over, referring to the old non-man culture of the rivalry between companies like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft that has swept up most of the internet discourse in 2000s. But is Xbox really sunsetting the console market in favor of cloud gaming? The answer is no. But it's more complicated than that. You see, the thought process in which low IQ individuals think, we won the war. Now let's get the games. Let's pay for the games. Your continued payment in the games has changed how the strategy of the war is won. You know, a lot of companies, and they can't beat you outright. They just buy up all your stocks and then have a hostile takeover, right? You have to understand the dynamic in which you change the proposition of the outcome by changing the strategy. You, in turn, made a rival a dependent. The interesting topic is an interesting topic because as we look at the brand, we are changing the brand. It means something different, Spencer said. It literally has a box when it was first launched. It was a direct Xbox. What it's grown into now is more accessibility. Xbox isn't just one device. Xbox is your smartphone, your TV, your Xbox, your PC, your Xbox is your phone. We're in the middle of the transition. Your Xbox is your PlayStation, your Nintendo. Anywhere you consume Xbox games, we have infiltrated you, taken over, and you are now ours. To his credit, Spencer knows very well that some fans will ultimately be turned off by this campaign. Having said that, some people long for the simplicity of a single box, a single platform, a single game, but also noted that today's largest market and largest games are bigger than any individual platform. The audacity of you idiots to feel that Microsoft needed to play your game. The audacity of you lowbrow, low IQ individuals that can't think outside the box feel that there's only one way to skin a cat. The audacity of you to feel that a $3 trillion company will ever lose to a $1 billion company. You make 0 sense. You lack the fortitude in which to adapt, change, grow, and conquer. You have become too complacent, too lazy, too comfortable in the eco space where you were spoon-fed everything. You're consistently turned into a creature of habit in which you think everyone must play by your rules. The rules have been broken, shattered, kicked to the side, and left to waste. While you stay clinging onto an old rhetoric, an old mantra, an old metric. You are the old man on the lawn telling people, get off my lawn, while the world passes you by. I know it's hard to understand and it's hard to cope and it's hard to feel like a champion when you have done absolutely nothing to achieve said status. While Microsoft innovates, changes, and pushes the industry forward, it's get down or lay down time. Either you stand or you fall. The choice is yours. But as I see by the comments and I see by the individuals in the chat, I want you to do one thing. I want you to think before you talk. I want you to analyze the situation for exactly what it is. Because if you come to my town and I provide you with security, are you really secure? I want you to understand, when I sell the most on your platform, is it really your platform? You have to see the strategy for what it is. Microsoft realized very quickly that, okay, I can sell hardware. Okay, boom, switch. I can sell my hardware to those individuals that want it, but I need to sell software. I make the most money off of software, so what can I do? I will sell software. See, these fake taboos, these fake rules, you are upset that Microsoft has beat you to the punch yet again. And I know in your beta state, it's hard to fathom that they have outsmarted you, taken you out of your normal comfort zone. You have been assimilated. You are now a customer. You are no longer the alpha you thought you were. You're old, outdated, and antiquated. And it's very hard for you to fathom that you've been tricked. You've been duped. While running around screaming, we got the most powerful console, and all your games run better over here. Not knowing that every purchase that you make strengthens the beast you want to kill. And your dependence on the games that you say that you hate further kills you slowly. You do not understand what a poison pill is. And many times I tried to explain it to you. Many times I tried to warn you. Many times I told you. And in this irony, those 4 games that went over was 4 games that disgusted you at your core. But those 4 games is a poison pill that allowed Xbox and Microsoft to infiltrate, infest, take over, and change fundamentally how they do business. And instead of you understanding this is how we die, you continue to drink the poison Kool-Aid. Now, tonight before you go to bed, I want you to realize you did this to you. There was no one else who did this to you but yourself. And for each and every last petulant Xbox owner, let me know when your Xbox stops working. Let me know when you can no longer log in, your Game Pass subscription runs and they say that's it. Let me know when those things happen. But until then, sit down, shut up, face forward, and stop whining. Because you're making yourself look weak as hell. And I know you're going to say, King, but when I see something that I don't like, I must say something. You have been trained well, you beta. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sony didn't kill Xbox. It only made them stronger.
Listen, every time you speak negatively about me, I get stronger. You think your words hurt, but they only motivate me more. So keep running your fucking mouth because your stupid little words pushes me to work harder. Now, I can't control what you say, but I promise you, I can and I will make you eat your fucking words with my success. Thanks for the motivation, motherfucker.
When you have relationships with the competition and the competition has deals with companies that you're working with, you can't disclose information, right? So a lot of times it's a tricky way to navigate these things. If they were purely the opposition, you'll be able to answer that on a purely oppositional standpoint. The opposition has a deal in place, blah, 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 boom, 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 bang. But when that opposition is a customer, well, you have to have considerations for the customer and their private dealings. It's like, what is it? Counsel, privilege or something like that. Like you can't disclose their dirty dealings, right? So Phil Spencer, I can't talk about Black Myth Wukong Xbox status. It's been a weird journey for Black Myth Wukong so far. The game was originally expected on launch on Xbox and Microsoft consoles alongside the PlayStation 5 release. But then it was suddenly delayed back in June for Xbox specifically. Why? Well, the developer advised that it was equality standards, of course. But rumors suggested that it might have been released on the PlayStation 5 exclusively. In any case, Xbox boss Phil Spencer couldn't draw it into commenting on the game in an interview with GameFile this week, simply stating that he couldn't announce any plans. And here's the exchange. And be very key. Now, I know some of you low IQ individuals may not be able to perceive exactly what's going on in this dialogue, so let me narrate for you. Do you know if you're getting Black Myth Wukong on Xbox at some point? GameFile asked. Spencer: I do know. So he does have the answer to the question that is being asked in front of him. So, game file. Are you getting it? With a sly smile. Spencer, laughing. I can't announce that. As coy as possible, that conversation told you a lot. Now, what you can extrapolate, and what extrapolate means extract from this conversation, that means take out, that means remove for you lower IQ individuals. From this conversation, is Phil does have the exact answer, and he does know exactly when the game is coming, and he does know when the deal is up with Sony. He sits down with game science to have the conversation. The game comes out, and that's about it. He knows what date it is. He knows when it is. He knows how it is, and he knows when they're going to get a chance to play it on Xbox. But he can't divulge that to you because that will be upsetting one of his customers. One of his customers that pays well. You don't want to really ruffle the feathers of individuals that you do business with. PlayStation is a customer that has deals all across the boards. Now, does that sustain some urge inside your soul, some craving that you needed to have about where games go, how they go, and what time they go? Does that help you understand when Black Myth should be arriving, when the deal should be up? Do you now believe that there is a deal in place? See, these questions and many, many more hopefully was answered in that very, very brief 4-line conversation about the topic of a game going to Xbox. Now, if you're an Xbox guy, you have a ton of stuff to play. Maybe you really want to play Black Myth. Well, if you really want to play Black Myth, go get it on PC. Mama. No, do not do that. And if you don't want to play it on PC, then go buy a PlayStation and game on a PlayStation. But do not sit there and bicker, cry, or moan because you don't have the game on your favorite place. That's beta energy. Grow up.
You're weak. You are always weak. You'll always be weak until you take control.
Question, do you think Xbox is successful? Answer, yeah. Question, do you think Xbox has sold the most consoles? Answer, no. Question, do you believe that Xbox has been successful without selling the most consoles? How is that possible? Query, searching, trying to figure out. Thinking outside of the box is hard for some, but it was mandatory for others. In order to survive, you must be able to adapt and change. Xbox is successful right now. Phil Spencer shares his thoughts. It's been a weird year for Xbox. There's been plenty of successes, and hopefully some more successes by the end of the year with Stalker 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and Indiana Jones on its way in the next coming short weeks. But what they've seen is, jobs lost, studios been closed, and controversial reaction to the idea of Xbox putting their titles on the competition. But when they asked Phil, how's the business going? He said Xbox business has never been healthier. And he's being able to look at it over a period of time. Xbox is in a position and has a pipeline and is making boatloads of cash. You have never seen Microsoft invest this heavy inside Xbox. Because actually they're seeing the fruits of their labor pan out. So why do other people feel that this strategy is a failure when being told by the individuals that are in charge that Xbox is successful and is garnering the most healthiest cash flow, I don't know, ever. However, he also warned of them to remain creative, adaptive in order to achieve a continued success. He actually pointed out to the idea of selling a $1,000 console being something that Xbox needs to avoid if the company wants to achieve new players. That was a subtle dig at the PlayStation 5 Pro. See, even Sony understands that the Pro is not going to be the console that's going to be mainstream penetration. See, because at that price point, it's prohibitive of an impulse buy. What all companies would like to achieve is a impulse buy price point in which they can actually reach the common consumer. Now, right now, when the common consumer is struggling with gas prices, food prices, shelter, this hobby is not a necessity. It's more of a hindrance. When consumers daily try to escape, but can't escape the confines of life, if you will, they look to easier ways of entry. Microsoft, understanding the conundrum that's in front of the average consumer that is their chosen target, because Xbox targets a consumer to patron their wares, the barrier of entry must be different. With the zeitgeist being on the PlayStation, Xbox has to offer different ways for you to enter the ecosystem in order to consume their wares. Now, if you have 65 million consoles out there, quotes, how can I eat off you? I let you do all the hard work while I do the easy work. You do the heavy lifting. I come lay pipe. Pause. Microsoft has figured out an easier way to distribute. Microsoft and Xbox is the distro. So what they did was go to Amazon. Get that over there. Get those casuals that actually patron Amazon. It's a click away. That is a super impulse buy. Under $100. Microsoft was going to make their own Fire Stick. They had their own dongle. Why make our own when we can go to the people that makes their own? They make the best. They have an installed base. And just put Game Pass there and give them some money. Genius. It happens. Now I understand some people say that Fire Stick and that streaming is not for them. Don't do it. They weren't talking to you. Hasn't your parents told you? Hasn't your father, maybe your father wasn't there. Hasn't your mother told you, if I'm not talking to you, be quiet. Only speak when spoken to, or you get broken to. It was pretty much what I was told growing up. So unless my name was called, I said nothing. So now they're not talking to you when it comes to streaming. Okay, a Series S. A lower entry point for you to get inside the ecosystem. Now, the gamer who wants more, that gamer who wants to game higher. I mean, why are you talking? They weren't talking to you. Shh, again, be quiet. For those gamers that do want that, they get a Series S. Wait a second. Hold up now. You want to game higher. An Xbox Series X. Now, that is the sweet spot for some of the hardcore gamers who say, this is it right here. I'm here. I'm home. My controller talks to me. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is it right here. They're being talked to. But then there are hungrier gamers that do have more money. Their wallets are a little bit larger. They're able to game at a higher level. So in saying that selling $1,000 consoles is not going to reach maximum penetration, he is not wrong. Because $1,000 consoles do not make those sales. That is not what the sale market is looking for. What they're looking for is that sweet spot. Casuals move the market. What you want to do is sell software. What Xbox has found out is selling Game Pass sells a maximum amount of software because they have a maximum amount of IPs. And in choosing the maximum, opposed to single point of purchase. Single point of purchase is like going hand to hand in the street, hoping a customer comes up. Why are you doing hand to hand? Why don't you just distribute to key distribution points and allow everybody else to make sales for you? You have to understand street economics to understand this form of economics to get to where you need to be. I'm talking to each and every last hood dude. And if you are, then you understand. If you're not, pull up a seat, shut your mouth, and become educated. I'm going to teach you. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. But what I'm going to tell you is, I'm 98% right all the time. And don't you buck up on me. What you have to understand is, this is a rough process. And maybe, just maybe, you will learn more and you will come out smarter than you actually are. And I know to you that feels condescending and your feelings are hurt. I'm going to look you in your eyes and I'm going to tell you F your feelings. Because I don't care about them. Where everybody tells you nowadays is they care about your feelings and they care about how you feel. I don't. Not one day, not 1 second, not 1 hour. It won't happen. Your emotions don't matter to me. Because this is a hobby. And you are highly emotional when you shouldn't be. Nothing that is optional should ever affect you in this way.
Right. Calm down. Someone woke up with an attitude.
If you listen to a PlayStation fan, they'll tell you that the PlayStation having a secret show every other week. If you look into a PlayStation fan, they'll tell you that Sony is going to drop the bomb on you. If you listen to a PlayStation fan, they will tell you all the time that PlayStation is working on this and working on that, and it's going to be the greatest year that Sony has ever seen. If you listen to a PlayStation fan, you will go absolutely insane. The PlayStation fan is a disillusional fan. It's a low IQ individual who holds close to thoughts, prayers, hopes, and wishes. The PlayStation fan is a fan that not to be trusted because they lie constantly to themselves and others. They want you to believe the stuff that they are saying is true, and in turn it isn't. The PlayStation fan is a toxic individual that is a petulant child that moves in a way that is not in line with alpha, that is more in line with beta. No news of a PlayStation showcase for December. See, PlayStation guys will tell you, we're having a state of play. No, you're having the state of pay. And that is every damn day. The industry insiders see potential at the Game Awards. I expect Sony to do something or say something at the Game Awards. Like the God of War 3 HD trilogy, the first trilogy. That would be nice to see. Fans anticipate more PlayStation announcements by year end. The reason why they're saying that is because they have no games coming to the end of the year. Xbox games is in full swing. They're launching every other week. And games are coming out to the end of the year. And they have nothing to look forward to. Except for overpriced hardware that they don't see any differences to. So that right there within itself is probably troublesome to them. They can't cope. The coping mechanism is to scream out that we have a state of play on the way. And I heard. Constantly spewing out of their little toxic mouths. Like they have diarrhea of the face. The PlayStation low IQ individual will always stand on 10 toes, screaming for attention. Yelling at anyone that walks past. Xbox is dead. Xbox is dead. Xbox is dead. We hate your games, yet begging for more games from Xbox. There's a sad state of affairs when individuals can't realize Sony cares not for them, not at all. And they change. They change the narrative when things go wrong with Lego Horizon scoring low, going over to Nintendo day and date. They're not third party. Lego made them do it. This is not really happening. They live in a weird fantasy world in which nothing is wrong, everything is right, Sony is always the same, and it's just Xbox. It's Xbox, I tell you. Xbox is the problem. Xbox did it. It wasn't me. It was Xbox. Xbox is dying. I'm not dying. Xbox is third party. You're third party. What am I? The Sony fan base is a low IQ group of individuals gathered together trying to make one uni-mind. It's very sad. It's hard to fathom that individuals that do show an awareness outside of their warrior mentality, they are the Neanderthal. The time is over for them. Homo sapien is taking over. It's time to put the Neanderthal to rest. Good night, young Neanderthal. It is over for you. So, you see the evidence presented in front of you. Does the Neanderthal make it out of this one? Does the low IQ, low brow individual, the slumped over, knuckle dragging Cro-Magnon man, aka the PlayStation fan, does this one get out of his dilemma? Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do. We're going to run it up on you bums. I know I hurt your feelings, man. I do. I got to hurt your feelings, boy. Like when I'm 98% right all the time and I tell you dudes, there's a different way to pitch on your block. Like I put work inside your refrigerator and make you make me money. It's a damn shame how you got more hustlers. And I know who you are when we have conversations and when certain ways the conversations go. And you abandon all sensibilities to fit in. That's when I lose respect for you. You understand? Like I lose respect for you. Like when you abandon your sensibilities to fit into the crowd, you can do nothing but admire a hustler, bro. I mess with these dudes. Like I really mess with Xbox. Like that's what I mess with. I love somebody that can go get it in the mud. And if it ain't going right, switch it up on you. And you trying to figure out how he did that. That's crazy. Yo, he went out of... that's crazy. I'm about that get money stuff. That, listen, man. I was born in the 70s, raised in the 80s and 90s, 2000s. We was already styling on you dudes. We're a different breed of animal. Not the same like you. Different breed of animal. So when I see how a dude can flip it and then at the drop of a dime is everywhere, when you stuck trying to play catch up, just tell the truth and shame the devil. Let us know that you're upset that your mans ain't flip it like that. Your man is slow, bro. Let's keep it a beam. Sony got something. Something's up with Sony, bro. Because if Microsoft, well, I guess cash dictates pace, right? So if cash dictates pace, who got the most money? Your man's in them. So how you gonna sit there in front on this guy? I ain't jacking you dudes sitting there talking about, oh, Xbox is dead. And then turn around and beg for something. And don't tell me you're not begging for it because Microsoft is giving it to you when they only gave you 4 games that you said you didn't want, but you purchased anyway. That's like claiming you Muslim and I tell you I'm putting pork inside the refrigerator and you eating the pork, but you said you didn't want the pork. Do you understand? You said you don't eat that. You said that's not good for you. You said it's trash. But then I catch you sitting there eating it. It's the thing that's selling the most in your menu. So then I got to look at you different because you're not a man of your word. You say you don't want that sort of, and Microsoft has definitely understood that you was a sucker and gave you everything that you didn't want while you still begging for the stuff that you want. You're dying for Gears. You're dying for Forza. You're dying for this stuff. You're dying for Halo. And it's like they dangling some wild fruit in front of you. Pause. You get an Indiana Jones that's going everywhere. Indiana Jones is going to IHOP. You ain't special. Xbox ain't making consoles. You sound stupid. They ain't making $1,000 console like your stupid behind one that you not gonna buy. You just a level of cap that is so different and so weird. You're a weirdo, bro. You're just weird. And is that a point now where your weird ass got to move on, man? You're not him. You're not special. Half of you dudes talking about this PlayStation 5 Pro don't have an 8K television. You got that TCL. Oh, Xbox is the weaker console. They no longer got power, King. You wasn't worried about power before, but now you're worried about power that you can't take advantage of, that you probably don't even have. Everything about you is a lie. You're just one big lie, like a lie. And it's sad to see that y'all was never like this. It was, growing up, PlayStation dudes stood on business, man. They wasn't sensitive. It wasn't weak. It stood on business, man. Y'all was about action. Y'all dudes ain't about that action. Like, I don't know how the hell y'all got here. I don't know where y'all came from. But this is not it, man. It's the wildest thing to see when we talk about video games, and this is a hobby. This is an absolute hobby. See, what gamers is, we wanted our dollar to allow us to do as much as possible, right? So when arcades became, like, let's say we had $1, right? And you went in there, was 25 cents in the arcade for a quarter. Every quarter is 25 cents. Now, when they had double days, that $1 turned into 8 quarters. And he was like, yo. And that's the day you patron that store the most, which was usually a Wednesday and a Thursday, right? And you went in there, you went in there double up days. But that's what you wanted to do. When emulation came out, we wanted to emulate our games. We wanted to get the most for our money at the least possible as we can. Game Pass facilitates that dream. You dudes that have no money want to spend more money. Y'all are hustling backwards. There's no hustle in you. There's no hustle in you. There's no fight in you. There's no individuality in you. You're carbon copies of the same individual cloned to have the same hive mind. And it's strange. You want to think like that same person that you see. You want to be like that same person you see. If that same person says, don't like this, I hate this, but you secretly love it, that's going against your morals, your creed, your whole understanding of self. You got to get back to knowledge of self. Now, I did say that I was going to teach you how to meditate after this, right? So what I want you to do is very easy, very quick. I mean, listen, I'll be a fool if I don't tell y'all how to center yourself, because I'm looking at a lot of you Xbox dudes. I don't like the way you're jumping out the window. I got to fix you, bros. Pause. 33 minutes out of the day. And don't tell me that you ain't got 33 minutes. And it's very key that it's 33 minutes. All right? I want you to sit down in 33 minutes. Put a little whatchamacallit on the floor. You sit down. Turn the lights off. Put your cell phone in the next room. Put a timer on it. 33 minutes. You sit down. You focus. Put your hands in your lap. You just sit there and go introspectively. I want you to take yourself, right? I want you to take an image of yourself. And I want you to see yourself. Now, I want you to take away all the good that you do. Remove that and just show your bad. I want you to focus. I want you to close your eyes and focus here, right? And put that bad here. See all of it, everything that's bad there. Then I want you to look at it. And for that one day, in that 33 minutes, I want you to concentrate on eliminating that one bad item that you see. You have a ton of bad. I want you to see yourself as yourself, your natural self. Remove the good, see that bad, and I want you to take one of those bad items and I want you to eliminate it for that day. I'm not telling you eliminate it for the rest of your life. For that day, don't do that one thing. Let's say you have a toxic trait of yelling, anger, jealousy, hate, whatever, drugs, whatever you do, one toxic thing that you hate that you can't really stand about yourself, I want you to take that and remove it for that day. Meditate on that for 33 minutes. I guarantee you'll be able to do it for that day and you'll eliminate it. Try that every day with a different thing that you don't like about yourself. Meditate that way. Well, hey, if I can't use my platform to each one teach one, I grew up on knowledge itself. I grew up as a 5%. I grew up on knowing and trying to gain more knowledge every day. So this was something that was on my spirit to talk to you guys. If I lose any of you guys, I understand. If I gain some of you guys, I understand. But my platform is each one teach one. I am my brother's keeper. I am Lord King David, I am Lord's podcast, and I am the king of Xbox Frontline News. And I can't be a king if I can't sit down here and talk to the people. So that is my job, that is my burden, and I have great purpose. And with that purpose, I'm here to teach. So if you like anything that you saw here, please subscribe, become a member. Tomorrow's Fight Night Fridays. I don't know what we're going to do. We got to fight tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do because Mike Tyson fights Jake tomorrow. I might not have nobody there, so we might be doing that. We might be in a Discord watching a fight together. But whatever tomorrow is, tomorrow is Lord Cognito's birthday. I want everybody to give Lord Cognito a love, shout out, and stuff like that. It's a great time. Great time to be alive. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it around that Neanderthal, that low IQ, low brow, low vibrational Cro-Magnon man. And I'm going to choke him out and I'm going to tell him, ain't no party like an Xbox party. Try to play the Game Pass.